Hello everybody, I'm Brainy Diode, and I am back with another episode of Nier Automata. Last time, we ventured through a dangerous factory that served as our tutorial level and battled the giant robot at the end. This time, we'll be finding out more about exactly what's going on here, and venturing back into the surface, or onto the surface rather, to take on our next mission. So, let us begin.
So, mission complete and all that, huh? The Goliaths were wiped out, and we secured a route into enemy territory. Now we can...
9S.
Yeah?
Thank you for uploading my data to the bunker.
I did that? Sorry, I don't remember. There wasn't a whole lot of bandwidth down there, you know? I probably only had enough time to back up your memories. Mine are only intact up to the point just before we rendezvoused.
I see.
Glory to mankind.
Glory to mankind.
"5012 AD. The year mankind's glorious history came to a sudden and abrupt end, when the world was invaded by aliens from beyond the stars. The aliens unleashed a new breed of weapon, machine life forms, that all but annihilated human civilization. The handful of survivors that remained fled from Earth, seeking refuge on the moon. 5204 AD. Humanity launched its counterattack, deploying an army of androids from a network of orbiting bases. But after more than a dozen large-scale descents upon the enemy, we still haven't managed to repel the invaders. That is why you, the Yorha forces, exist. To break this stalemate, once and for all. You are our ultimate weapon, and you must put an end to this war.
Understood, sir.
I wish you good hunting.
Glory to mankind. Glory to mankind.
Glory to mankind.
Alright, so this here is a little segment where we, just have to set up our settings. Yes, I am getting started by getting my brightness set. If you don't mind bearing with me for the next minute or so.
Are you there? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Alright. Are we good now?
Let's go ahead and use this option.
Oh, thank you. Anyway, that takes care of the settings. Hold on. Your self-destruct permissions are missing. Wait a sec, we need to restore those. I could set it for you, but you should probably do it yourself. Regulations and all, you know? Huh? Wait, no. You need to leave that turned on.
Okay, so I was just pressing A to get past the dialogue there, but yeah, we're gonna look at the little bit of fun dialogue that you get if you keep your self-destruct off.
Yeah, you can't really do that. It needs to be turned on except in very specific cases.
Well, what if I don't want to blow myself up?
I'm afraid I can't leave this as is, ma'am. Please give your permission. Hey, come on now. I'm just trying to follow regulations here. Hey, come on now. I'm just trying to follow regulations here.
Alright, so looks like we've run out of dialogue options there.
Okay, good. If things go wrong during an op, you may have to sacrifice yourself in order to finish it. So, once you're finished making adjustments, you can go ahead and close this out.
Alright, well, now that 9S has given us a bit of free reign, let's go ahead and turn this off, huh?
I know no one likes the idea of self-destructing, but that's what regulations call for. Still, I'll keep it a secret from the commander.
So that's just a bit of fun you can have if you feel like messing around in the options menu a little bit. But now, let's head on back to the game.
Morning.
"9S.
The commander's put me in charge of your maintenance, ma'am. That means I'll be performing regular checks on you from now on.
I see.
Oh, don't worry. We 9S models are the best around, you know. Though I suppose we're not exactly known for our modesty.
9S.
What?
Stop calling me ma'am.
Huh?
There's no need to be so formal.
Alright. If you say so. Oh, I almost forgot. The commander was calling for you. We'd better go see what's up, 2B.
Alright, so it looks like 2B and 9S are going to be sticking together for a little bit longer. So,
You need to be near an access point to save your data. You can see access points on the close-range map. Be sure to save often.
So, like 9S was saying there, these are access points. You also may have seen that we just got some mail. Access points are useful for many different things, like saving, as 9S said, and they're also the only way that you can access your mailbox. So let's look at this mail that we just got. This message is intended for the verification of your mail account. Members who encounter problems with the mailing system should contact their supervisors as soon as possible. IT Operations Lead Server Engineer. So, just a little, a test mail to get the player recognizing how to access their inbox. Admittedly, in my first playthrough, I kind of forgot that, or actually more didn't realize that you could look at your mail through the access points, and kind of didn't look at my mail for a very long time. Whoops. Anyway, let's continue on. It's a bit difficult to see what... There's an NPC over here. What do you have to say? Huh. I have never noticed this NPC or this chest before. Medium recovery, not bad. Not bad at all. Alright, well now that we've taken a look at that, let's head down to the level we're supposed to be going to. And let's talk to the commander.
Ah, 2B. Maintenance finished?
Yes, Commander.
You detonated your black box in order to defeat the enemy. Bold, but risky. Try not to be so reckless next time.
Understood.
I know you're fresh out of maintenance, but I have another mission for you. I need you to head to the surface, rendezvous with the Resistance, and do some recon.
Doesn't Yorha have a dedicated resistance contact already?
We haven't been able to get in touch with them. So we'll need you to look into that as well.
Understood.
Alright, so despite the absolute disaster that happened down there the first time, it's back to the surface for us. Hi.
The surface? That means we'll be getting flight units, huh? Better head for the hangar. Usually we can't get near flight units. They're way too expensive for us grunts. Too bad they can't mass produce these things yet.
I kind of hinted.
The hangar's up ahead. Let's go.
I kind of hinted in the intro that we would... Well, not hinted, flat out said in the intro that we would be going back to the surface, but it's nice to see the game taking my side. What he says about us not usually getting flight units, yeah, he's completely wrong. You'll be seeing a lot of flight units in this game.
Hey, 2B, why do you think they sent a combat model like you to a recon job? If all they want is intel, we scanner models are built for that kind of thing.
Orders are orders.
Alright.
Alright, well, now that we are on our way to our second mission, there is something about this game that I would like to talk about. Well, presumably I would like to...
2B, you're going to have some new weaponry installed from here on out. I'll put up instructions for you. Make sure to commit them to memory.
Roger.
Presumably there's a lot about this game that I would want to talk about, seeing as I'm playing in front of a camera, but specifically in this instance, I'd like to talk about a little bit about the format. So, prior to playing this game, my experience with Platinum games had been it had been pain, yes, but also what I had been intending to say was that my experience was all of Metal Gear Rising and the first two Bayonetta games. I am playing this, or making this video series, or at least this episode before the release of Bayonetta 3, so as of now, all the Bayonetta games that exist I have played, but that will not be the case for much longer. Anyway, the point is, if you are familiar with those games, you will know that they are pretty linear. They're segmented into multiple levels.
Bunker to 2B, come in. I've set a landing point for your flight units. You'll be touching down quite a ways from the resistance camp, unfortunately. Sorry for the trouble, but we can't risk the enemy discovering their position.
Understood.
Good luck down there.
As I was saying, actually there might be another cutscene here. I should not quite continue my thought yet. Bye-bye, flight units. We'll be seeing you again later. So, as I was saying, this game, or not this game, other Platinum games that I have played have been very segmented into different levels that are all very linear. They're essentially just big, long hallways. So with how the first two missions went, especially with that factory, I kind of assumed that this would be the same sort of thing. To clarify, I don't hold that against those games at all. I think there's absolutely a time and place for those kinds of games, and if you know what you're getting into, you can still have a lot of fun with a linear kind of hallway-esque game, and there are still offshoots and secrets to be found here and there. But as far as the tutorial level goes and how that level started, I kind of assumed this game would be the same thing. I assumed it would have a format similar to, of all things, Kid Icarus Uprising. By which I mean maybe each mission would start with a flight segment that would eventually get you down on the ground and running down another linear hallway, and this is a nice place to start one of those kinds of missions. I mean, you've got a path that obviously leads you up here, but once you get to the top of this roof, things might start to look a little different.
Target location acquired. Marking on map. Proposal. Proceed to target location.
So the first time I saw this big spread of a city, I wondered how on earth they were going to make a linear hallway out of this, but we've got quite an obvious path here, so I assumed if I just tried to jump down there, I would die or something. So, for the time being, let's follow this path the game has so graciously provided us with. And did I see an item over here? I guess not. Something that is a mechanic in this game that it doesn't really bring up till later. You have a little, your pod has a little flashlight that you can turn on and off. Not super necessary in this building, but it is kind of nice. That'll be really helpful later, but really only for one very specific area, so I'm not really sure it's a mechanic that they needed to include, but it's kind of fun that it's there anyway. Honestly, I haven't played lots of games that have, or played lots of consoles with controllers with sticks that you click in, so sometimes I will, in a more intense action sequence, I will accidentally click my stick in. And so if you see the pod's flashlight turn on from time to time, for no discernible reason, that would be why. Anyway, we've reached the bottom floor of this building and there's really only one exit, so... Yep. What you may have guessed from my cryptic talking was correct. This is a lot more open than your typical Platinum Games fare. Let's keep on a somewhat linear path for now, though, and head towards our waypoint.
According to our intel, none of the machines in this area are hostile. We've been seeing more and more enemies like this lately. They just stand there and stare into space. It's pretty weird.
So, despite our waypoint being obviously in this direction, and despite this obviously being a gap on the minimap, yeah, we can't go this way. There's a fence in the way. As far as I can tell, it's impossible to jump over. I've tried. So for now, we're gonna have to go around, unfortunately. But yeah, as I was saying, we're going to be going straight for the waypoint at the moment, because very soon we'll have lots of opportunity to explore this area and see what this world has in store for us. Let's grab this here. Alright, and the resistance camp that we're headed for is just through here. A nice little hidden space back here.
So this is the resistance camp, huh? We should probably go talk to their leader first thing.
You got it.
You're... number 2.
You know about 2B?
Yes, well, the bunker told me to expect you. My name is Anemone. I'm the leader of the android resistance that controls most of this territory. You must be the new scouts we heard about. Well, I'm sure my people will have plenty of information for you. Please feel free to ask them anything you like.
Alright, so like Anemone suggested, we've got people to talk to now. But as I'm sure you can tell from the map, there are 3 specific people that we're going to want to be talking to at the moment. And they will be telling us a little bit more about this area of the world. So let's get talking to them. First, this strange resistance woman, this lady in this odd mask. It's looking a lot like the machines we fought in the factory. Wonder if there's something up with that. Let's find out. Hey, you're with Yorha, right? My mask? It's an electromagnetic wave shielding device. I wear it to limit unnecessary information from the world. Ha! Just kidding. So what do you want? Are you worried about something or whatever? Alright, so there's lots of tutorial information here. It's gonna be a little bit talking to this woman, so let's jump right into it. First of all, remember that the game doesn't autosave. That's important. You need to activate that access point over there in order to save. Once you activate a terminal, you can save from anywhere nearby, so long as you're within range. When there's a connection icon displayed on the top right of your screen, you can go to the system menu and quick save. Or you can long save if you so desire. You can also use the access point here to return to that orbiting space station thingy of yours. The other access points are still undergoing maintenance, but you should be able to use them for transport soon. But, and I can't repeat this enough, don't forget that there's no autosave. Connectivity is limited to certain areas, but you should be able to save in more locations by activating access points. Oh, and let me say it again, there's no autosave. I think we heard you the first couple times, thanks. So what do you want? Are you worried about something? Alright, what's an access point? An access point is a piece of Yorha equipment. More specifically, it's that thing. Yep, that there in the background. Just like the ones we saw up in the bunker. You can save and check your mail there. They're all disguised as wrecked vending machines outside of the camp. They have a couple of other functions, but I guess you'll learn about that when you use them. Sometimes enemies will attack terminals. In those cases, you won't be able to use them again until you get rid of the enemies. What should I do if I die? That's a good philosophical question. Well, thank you for the insight that I'm sure you're about to give us, but I think we're talking in a more practical sense. After your Yorha body is destroyed, only its memory data is transferred to the new body. That means items aren't transferred, so if you die, you need to recover plug-in chips from your previous body. If you die again before recovering your plug-in chips, they'll all be lost, so take care. Basically, you need to recover everything from your previous body immediately. Where should I go now? When you're walking, there should be a mini-map on the bottom right. The icon, the whatever that is icon, shows your next destination. You'll be fine so long as you follow the red marker. I feel motion sick. If you have any system-related questions, ask maintenance. They handle everything from body maintenance to pod adjustments. This game is too difficult! You can change the game difficulty at any time on the system menu. In easy mode, enemies are weaker and you can use special auto chips, equip them, and left target will activate automatic attacks and evades. Normal mode is a standard level of difficulty. It's not the standard level of difficulty, just a standard level of difficulty. The enemy gets stronger in hard mode, and you can't use any lock-on features. In very hard mode, not only is lock-on disabled, but the enemies are, well, they're kind of insane. It's almost stupid difficult, but more daring players seem to like it. And hey, just between you and me, if you go to Intel and select tutorials, you may find out something you didn't know. I read that wrong, but oh well. Maybe worth checking out if you're ever bored out of your skull. Yeah, that's about the only reason we would be checking tutorials unless we don't know how to play. I'm good, thanks for the help. It was fun talking with you, come back anytime. We may or may not take you up on that offer in the future, let's just see what comes our way. But for now, we've got 2 other people to talk with. Let's start with you. Oh, you must be with Yorha. I heard about what happened. I deal in weapons, if you're interested in that kind of thing. What kind of weapons? Basically, I rebuild and repair relics from the old world. Although, to be honest, my tools are in pretty sad shape at the moment. But if I can get the servicing device in that toolbox up and running, I could start fixing and selling weapons again. Take a look at it, will you? So let's do just that. That looks busted alright. Thanks, 9S. You know it, and as I bet you can tell, I'm no good at that sort of delicate repair. I'm not sure that I would say I can tell that right off the bat, but if you say so, let's help him out, shall we? You mean it? That'd be a huge help. Looks like the servicing device shorted out. Must have put too much of a load on it. I'm thinking 4 complex gadgets will be enough to fix it. Any idea where I'd find complex gadgets? Folks say you can find them over in the city ruins, although I also hear the place is crawling with incredibly aggressive machines. You've accepted the weapon dealer request. Subquest progress. Your subquest has been updated. You can check your progress on the quest tab in the system menu. And let's talk to the supply trader. Welcome, welcome. It's always great to get new customers. You some kind of supply trader for the Resistance? Yes, that's what his name would suggest. You know it. Every item here is handcrafted from abandoned parts and stuff plundered from enemy corpses. So then, to business. What can I get you? Is there anything we want to buy? I might as well get some recoveries. Looks like we can afford quite a few of them. Well, let's get 20 smalls. For now, let's go with 9 mediums. And we can't buy any larges here. So I think that'll be all for now. We can buy more later, of course. Do you sell plug-in chips? Mean those little doodads that serve as power-ups for your body? Afraid not. I'd love to sell plug-in chips, but I don't have the necessary raw materials. Now, if I happen to get those raw materials, I bet we could do business. But until then... Say, now there's an idea. What if you got the materials for me? I've got this bum leg, see? Can't really get around myself. Can't you just repair your own leg? You work on the supply trade, after all. If only. Unfortunately, all of our parts are dedicated to the war effort. Can't spare any for myself. Well, that's too bad. Personally, I'm hoping you wipe out these machines so I can start dancing again. But until then, will you look for what I need? Let's agree to help him too. I'm feeling in a generous mood. Alright. Aw, thanks a million. Okay, so I need 1 broken spring, 1 small gear, and 1 broken circuit. You can smash up a few small machines to find them. You can obtain them from enemies at the big open area towards the left when you exit the camp.
Target location data obtained. Marking on map.
So you'll notice that our 2 quest destinations are marked with slightly smaller markers than usual. Those will be our markers for side quests in the coming game. However, it's a bit misleading in this case though. Well, access points. The world is filled with cleverly disguised access points marked with that target, which can be used for the following: unlocking map info, unlocking a save area, a white area on the map, which allows you to save your game in the system menu as long as you're close enough to the access point. If you find an access point under attack by enemies, destroy them all to reactivate the terminal. So like the tutorial said there,
This must have been quite a city once upon a time. Too bad vegetation's claimed most of it now.
So like the tutorial said there,
Operator 60 to 2B. It is time for your regularly scheduled contact.
This is 2B. Nothing to report.
Good to hear. Say, how's the weather on Earth today? Good?
It's fine. Does that question have anything to do with our operation?
Not really. I just figured it might feel nice to have some good weather.
Feeling nice has no bearing on completing missions.
That is so like you, 2B. Anyway, talk to you later.
alright 2B. No need to be sour
Proposal.
like that.
Eliminate enemies in vicinity and restore access point immediately.
We intend to do just that, thank you. Alright, so this is one of the access points out in the field they were talking about. As you can see, they are disguised as old vending machines. This is what you're going to be looking for if you're out hunting for access points. For now, let's take a look at this one. By activating access points, you gain more information on your map, and you can also save or look at your inbox, just like before.
Map data obtained from bunker. Data may be displayed from the system menu.
Map data, huh? It's hard to get an accurate picture from this. Our satellite resolution isn't so hot. Hopefully they deploy some new satellites soon.
A general idea is good enough.
You don't let anything get in your way, do you?
As I was saying, as the woman back in the camp said, in that specific access point at the camp, there is another function called transport. You may have seen the transport function grayed out on the access point in the bunker we looked at. Right now, that will only allow you to go from the bunker to the resistance camp and back, but later on in the game, all of the access points will be gaining the transport function, and that will operate as our quick travel function in the game. But for now, we just have to hike it out. Either way, we've only found one access point so far, and it's really not far from the resistance camp, so not a big deal. Now here's a chest here, but if you take a look at it, the button is crossed out. We cannot access this right now. There's a special technique that you need to use that, and we will not be gaining access to that technique for quite a long while. So remember that for now. We'll be back to it in 10 or 15 hours, at the very least. Anyway, you may see on the minimap right now there is a red circle. That is our current waypoint. But you may notice that I am currently moving away for it. And in case you wonder why that is, we're actually not going to be taking care of those quests that we were given this episode. Instead, I am going to show you something that is really what made me fall in love with this game for the first time. It is just across this bridge over here. And not too far away now. Oh! I guess I haven't really touched on me sprinting. If you're playing along at home and you want to sprint, all you need to do is press whatever button you have evade mapped to, and you will start sprinting. So, as you can see on our map, there's another access point right over here. So, like I was saying a while back, the first time I played this game, when I reached this point, I was expecting it to be linear, and obviously we see that is a lot more open than I expected, but I still kind of thought that maybe it was still segmented into different missions. I mean, there's no guarantee that there's no edge to this city. Well, obviously there has to be, but I kind of figured that this city would be an area that we look at for this mission, and the next mission we would be plunked into a different area, but then I happened to stumble across that bridge, find that access point, and wonder what happens when I go up these stairs. And I wound up in this area out here. This area doesn't, at the moment, look like anything we've seen before, but let's go in the store and see what happens. Now, isn't this looking quite a bit like an area we were in the tutorial? And when we go through that door, we find out that, yes, this is, in fact, the tutorial area. This is the very same factory that... There's a little elevator we could call if we... Or apparently we can't call. Oh, right, it was up that ladder. Well, I won't show you at the moment, but if you were to climb that ladder, you would quickly see that this is in fact the very same factory we traveled through in the tutorial area. That's right, the game is all connected. Which means, as the woman in the resistance camp suggests, well, actually, if you remember from the last episode, we did have to self-destruct to finish the tutorial area and defeat the Goliath unit. And, as the resistance woman said, if we die, we can pick up stuff that was on our corpses if we go find them again. I've not actually done this. Ah, here we go. Yep. There it is. We can get our old equipment set up from our corpse. I'm losing a grip on my words here. What I wanted to show you is that, yes, this game is all connected. Here we have a nice weapon we can grab a hold of. This is the weapon we used in our tutorial. We obtained Virtuous Treaty, and we can go into our equipment menu and equip that. Let's look at all weapons. Virtuous Contract and Virtuous Treaty. So Virtuous Contract is, I believe, what we're using now. As you can see, Virtuous Treaty is a lot better. So, yep, we're using Virtuous Contract for our light attack and Bare Fist for our heavy attack. So, for the time being, let us set Virtuous Treaty as our heavy attack weapon. We've got a big attack boost. Unfortunately, we'll be able to do a few less attacks with our heavy attack now, but the big attack boost definitely makes up for it. While we're at it, let's go into items, because we've heard a couple mentions of plug-in chips. Actually, I want to go to the skills menu. We've heard a couple mention of plug-in chips. Plug-in chips will serve as sort of our upgrade system in this game. Not really upgrades, more of a skill tree sort of thing. As these characters are all androids, they are powered by, or given abilities by, these chips. And we can add chips or take them out as we so desire. For now, we have an amazing item in the tutorial called Auto Use Item, and what that does is if you get under 25% HP and have any healing items on you, you will automatically use one of those healing items. I've only ever seen it use small restores. Small restores will recover 25% of your HP, no matter how much HP you have. So it's kind of nice that it's still as useful late in the game as it is earlier in the game, as opposed to, say, something like potions from Pokemon, which, once you get past certain levels, kind of lose their use. The recoveries will be just as useful to you late in the game as they are early in the game. Unfortunately, they're less useful earlier in the game than, like, I used the example of Pokemon's potions before. But it's still nice that you can get some use out of them late in the game. But what I was going to say is that I don't actually know if it works, if it uses medium or large recoveries ever, because I've never actually run out of small recoveries. Gotten close a couple of times, but I always make sure to keep myself well stocked up. But anyway, this is what I wanted to show you. Now we have a look at what it's like to go visit one of our corpses, to regain the setups we had on them. If you die, you will all lose everything except your default chips that you had equipped. Any unequipped chips you will hang on to, but any of your equipped ones will stay on your dead body. So if you die with a really good setup that you don't have replacements for, you will want to, as quickly as possible, make it back to where you died and pick up your stuff. And we here have done just that. So I wanted to show you that, and I wanted to show you that this game is actually a lot more connected than one might have thought. I didn't really mention earlier, but I meant to, that I expected the bunker to serve as sort of a hub world for us. In fact, the city is more of a hub world than anything. It's kind of our central location that all of the other areas we want to go to branch off from. But there is plenty to do in the city itself. There are plenty of machines to fight if you happen to need to level grind, or machines drop items that you need, as is the case with our current side quest. And you can explore, find items, and, well, explore and find items. I was about to say something else, but I realized I don't want to say that yet. And, I mean, it looks really good. I mean, look at that. This is a good-looking game. Well, with that over and done with, I think we're going to save the questing for next time. So, like I said, next time we will complete the 2 requests that we have been given, and maybe take a look at our next mission. I will see you then.